welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you the most history tidbits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long podcast. Thank you guys for joining us on another crazy episode. The first one of week one of the NFL season, which is a hallowed time of the year for us, too. This is our favorite season, our favorite sports season to follow, so you bet your ass we are very excited to recap all the football news in the Sports Sampler. We've got some Emmy news in the entertainment entree, and then, of course, the lovely non-fortune cookie odd news. There it is, the whole show coming at you. The menu that will prepare you for the meal for your mind coming up. But before we get into all of those dishes at hand, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? We do a little personal bit, let you know what we're up to. So, Mikey, what's up? What's happening in Costanzo country?
We went to Hershey Park. I went to Hershey Park this past weekend.
All of Costanzo country. Everybody.
The entire country, no. No, the girlfriend and I went to Hershey Park.
Yes.
It's kind of a thing that we're trying to do every year. We want to try and go to Hershey Park and make it like a thing.
Yeah, is this like I feel like it's becoming a yearly thing for you.
Yeah, we went last year. We went this year. We want to go again. Next year. It's just a lot of fun. We both enjoy the rides. Her so more than me. She likes the more intense the roller coaster, the better. Yeah. And I know you hate rides.
Yeah.
You dislike them just wholesale. I don't mind roller coasters, and I've been doing some roller coasters with the loops in them now.
Oh.
Yeah,
no, that's a hard pass.
So last year, I don't know if I talked about this, but last year when we went, she made me ride the coaster called the Great Bear at Hershey Park.
Okay.
It does it's the kind of coaster where your feet hang down.
Ooh, no.
You're like not in a car. So that already had me panicking,
yeah,
right?
I don't like that.
So your feet are hanging, and it has the loop where you don't go on the inside of it, you go around the outside of it.
Yeah, it flips you
like
outside.
Outside the loop, not inside the loop.
Yeah.
And it also has
if you can see our hand reactions on the video feed.
It's like your feet are here and it goes like this.
This is why you have to be watching the video feed sometimes. Whee!
I don't know. But
outside corkscrew.
Outside loop, and then it also does a corkscrew. It does two corkscrews.
Oh my gosh.
Last year, I'm pretty sure I blacked out on that ride. My soul left my body.
That was you?
No, actually that was me before.
That was before.
When I got on the ride, I was white as a sheet. I was emotionless. I was basically just holding on for dear life, and literally I could feel myself losing consciousness. I was so scared and so panicked. I had a terrible time, but I got off the ride. And
thank you, Hershey. I had a terrible time.
No, I got off the ride and I realized, you know what, that wasn't so bad. That was actually kind of fun because you get to the end and you start to laugh because you're brought right to the edge of death, and then they pull you back just a foot, and you realize,
sweet.
Yeah. So I did it again this year, and this year I had a blast. I did not almost pass out on that ride. This time, the ride I almost passed out on was Sky Rush. You would hate this coaster.
Was that you this year?
Yes. Rich, you would hate this coaster. It has its initial drop is greater than 90 degrees. Like, it doesn't go straight down. It goes a little bit further in, so that
that's you.
Yes. I wish I could scream. I had no voice to scream because you are completely weightless because of the way it drops you. So it doesn't just drop you straight down. It doesn't do an incline. It's literally it's kind of pushed back a little bit, 91 degrees, so that you're literally falling out of your seat as you're plummeting.
No, I don't like it. I don't know.
The whole gimmick of this ride, there were no loops or corkscrews or twists or anything. It was literally just a bunch of hills that make you come up out of your seat, and I hated that feeling so much.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
No.
I got off the ride, and my literal words were, "We're never doing that ride again."
No, I
hated it so much. It wasn't even funny. But I did that. I did the Great Bear, which was fine. I did another Super Duper Looper, which was okay. The one ride I won't.
Is that a real name?
Super Duper Looper, yeah.
That literally sounds like you made it up.
No, it's real.
Okay,
it's real.
real.
It's
All
real.
right.
It's one of
Who's the marketing over there? Super Duper Looper. They couldn't come up.
No, it's one of their old. It's one of their old coasters.
Oh,
That's like one of Hershey Park's gimmick is they still have like all these old like wooden coasters and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, I go chocolate.
You just
and
go
that's
for the
it.
chocolate.
Yep.
You don't do any. You don't do any
No,
rides. No rides.
I'll do the Chocolate World ride. That's it.
That's your max speed for a ride
Yeah.
is 2 miles an hour.
Yeah,
You need to
that's
be
exactly what I
able to
want.
outwalk a ride.
Yes, right. I need that security. Yes,
That if anything ever happens, you
I can comfortably get off the ride.
comfortably get off and outpace the ride
Yes.
on foot.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Safety.
So your type of ride is like It's a Small World at Disney World,
Sure.
or like the teacups.
Sure. The monorail.
I do like a
love the
good monorail. I do like.
Hershey has a good monorail.
We didn't go on the monorail.
You did go on the
No,
monorail.
we didn't go on the monorail. No,
You son of a bitch.
we did go to the zoo though.
That's the one thing I would go. The monorail is actually a really nice thing because it takes you like through the downtown of Hershey and comes back.
My girlfriend makes fun of me. She's like, "Oh, you would like the monorail." I'm like, "The monorails are nice. You get
Yeah.
to see like the aerial view of everything. It's like
Yeah.
nice and like relaxing."
Yeah,
And
monorail's really nice.
and she's like, "No, I need all the loops and corkscrews." I'm like, "Oh man."
No, I can't do it.
I'm like in between. I'm in between monorail and like dying on a roller coaster. I'm like in between. But no, we had a good time.
Okay.
I got a lot of chocolate. I bought a 1 pound Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yes, you did.
So
Good job.
yeah. So
Gave us all diabetes tonight.
yes, I brought the peanut butter cup and I'm like, guys, who wants diabetes? And we all got
Big
diabetes.
plate of it right
Yeah.
here for you.
Big plate of diabetes. But no, that's what I was up to. I was at Hershey Park, checking out the rides and the candy. What were you up to this past weekend?
Actually, I watched. I did the complete opposite of what you did. Instead, I stayed home and I binged watched Cobra Kai season 5.
Oh man, I'm
Yep.
jealous now.
Yep. Oh, it was so good. I just they find the creators of the show just find new ways to expand the lore and just make the show more ridiculous, but it doesn't go like too crazy where you're like, oh well, this is stupid. It's like just the right amount of zaniness and like elevation.
I'm sorry, Rich. It's a great show, but it absolutely is stupid.
Yeah, but like they don't.
It's
like,
a good stupid though.
But like it doesn't get to the point where it's like hurting your brain stupid.
okay. That's
It's
fair.
enjoyable stupid.
It's a little tongue in cheek. Like it kind of
Yes.
recognizes the fact that it's so ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And like, because like some of the things is like you always have like Daniel's wife. I forget what her name is. She's like the common person that's like, how many more karate
I think
monsters are coming out of the grave?
It was I think it was sometime in like season 1 or 2. She's like, oh, is this another karate duel thing? And
Yeah.
always poking fun
Yeah.
at like the ridiculousness.
she's like the
of it.
meta person. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So that's always like good to follow up with. I also just can't believe how much of the original Karate Kid trilogy actors they've been able to find. It is absolutely ridiculous.
They brought back almost everyone, didn't
Just
they?
about. I can't think of anybody that they didn't bring back other than Mr. Miyagi because he died.
Right.
Pat Morita. Yeah. Other than that, I can't think of anybody else like that didn't or that refused to come back or something.
Like that doesn't mean anything to me because I barely remember those movies. But
Yeah.
for big fans of the series, that's a huge selling point.
Yeah.
But realistically, were these people doing anything else? This was like
Well, literally, the guy that plays Silver, he's only just been like directing the last 15 years. He like went
okay.
straight from actor to directing. Like
I mean, that's a pretty good title.
like
bump.
I had enough. Like he was the classic 80s villain, and it was like, okay, that's it. I've had enough. I'm good. Like I
Right.
can't really do anything else.
Once you've been an 80s villain, you've basically reached the pinnacle of acting. There's
Yeah.
nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
People think it's like Best Actor or Actress Awards, but it's not.
No.
It's being an 80s villain.
Right. That's what matters.
Yeah.
And that's why the show is so good. I've been enjoying every bit of it. I will say though, this season does kind of feel like it's a wrap up.
Oh, really?
I think
So meaning it's the final season, or
they're working towards an end game. It's
good.
got to end.
good.
I think they've realized the nostalgia is going to start wearing off soon.
You know my theory about the number of seasons a show can last.
Yeah.
It's about 5 or 6, and then it goes completely off the rails.
I have a feeling that if they do get greenlit for a 6th season, that's going to be it. Like there were a lot of story points that got wrapped up in this season.
Okay.
So I feel like I think the writers know that this is the gravy train's about to end. So I it's bittersweet because you're like, I love the show, so I don't want it to end, but at the same time, like, I don't want it to go too far
Yeah.
because then it will get boring and or weird or ridiculous.
Yeah. My theory has always been, you look at any show, more often than not, if it goes longer than about 5 or 6 seasons, it starts to get stupid.
Yeah. So I definitely say watch Cobra Kai if you've made it this far with Cobra Kai. Definitely go for the 5th season. It was definitely a blast. There's a lot of great fights in it and some good humor, and it has like the right amount of just everything. It's got the right amount of drama, the right amount of some teen angst, the right amount of comedy. It just hits all those notes just right.
It's
so,
like got like good lessons. It's got action. It's got everything you want.
Yeah. So I, for one, enjoyed it. Definitely check it out. I binge watched it. I have no qualms about saying that. It was
Nice.
wonderful, and I think they are working towards an end game if there is a season 6, and that'll definitely be it. They can't push this any further. So there you go. That is what I did this weekend, and that's what we have for you to start off the show. But now we need to get to the news at hand, because the other thing I did this weekend was a whole bunch of football. It was time. It was officially time. So let's actually officially announce the beginning of the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Yep, sports coming at you in your face here in our first news segment. And why not? We need to jump right into the Philadelphia Eagles.
Where are my Eagles?
Yes, where are those damn Eagles?
Where are my Eagles?
Because I feel like people were saying that in the second half of this game against the Lions. The Eagles were doing well, but then kind of got sluggish in the second half. And Detroit, got to give them credit. The Lions were pouncing on the door, and they were about to launch this game into overtime.
No! We are taking this into overtime! Coming on,
Yeah, that's probably what their side was going with, because the final score ended up being 38-35. The Eagles had to have a crucial run with, I think it was Sanders, that had the monster 15-yard run to ice the clock at the end of the game. But that was it. If that didn't happen, Lions were going to get the ball back, and they could have tied it up and forced it into overtime. So this was definitely a very close game, unnecessarily, in most people's opinion here.
Yeah.
What do you want to take from this to start off with? Eagles winning, but kind of disappointingly, 38-35.
Yeah, it was a really close game, a lot closer than I expected. I know you were one of the people saying that the Lions were going to be better this year, but they're still the Lions, guys. You know, the ceiling of a team like that is not that high, even if they're improved. Meanwhile, the Eagles were supposed to be light years better. They did not look light years better to me. I know 38 sounds like a lot of points, but you have to break down and look at those 38 points. You have to look at the defensive touchdown that was scored. You have to look at the second half hardly doing anything. Look at the fact that Jalen Hurts running way too much, I think. 17 times he was almost their leading rusher. No passing touchdowns. I know there's a lot of people out there, fans of Hurts, that say you don't need to throw for touchdowns in order to win a game. I mean, yes, you are correct. We won the game without throwing for any touchdowns. But at some point in a pass-first league, and I see this comment, there's been lots of teams that have won with a run-first mentality. I'm calling shenanigans on it because the NFL is built for passing, and you can't convince me otherwise. The teams that do the best are teams that, historically, the past decade or so, have had incredible passing attacks. You don't really see the ground and pound style much anymore. And when teams have that style, they usually make playoff exits because they can't sustain it. At some point, you need to be able to outgun a Mahomes or a Josh Allen or a Tom Brady.
And Jalen's just not doing it for you.
He's just not doing it for me.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
And so that's going to be the new tradition this year. Whenever Mikey is dissing Jalen Hurts, I'm playing that clip.
You know, I want, and here's the thing, and don't misunderstand me, people. I don't think he's the guy.
You are not the guy. You're not capable of being the guy. I had a guy, but now I don't. You are not the guy.
There you go.
I don't think he's the guy, but that doesn't mean that I want him to fail. A lot of people out there that are criticizing Hurts, it almost sounds like they relish the fact that he's doing like poorly or that he's not living up to expectations. I'm not sitting here like, oh yeah, Jalen Hurts sucked again. That's not what I'm about. I'm an Eagles fan first and foremost. I want all of our players to do well, even if I'm critical of them. And that's what I am with Hurts right now. Is it's not that I want him to fail or I think that he's necessarily going to fail. I want him to succeed. I just don't see those parts of his game. I see him making a lot of one-read scrambles. Now, a lot of it was the offensive line collapsing, but a lot of it was him not recognizing that he can step up into the pocket and make a throw. I see him on there were several run-pass option plays in that game against the Lions where he chose the wrong option in the run-pass option. You know? I saw him run into danger a couple of times. And we can't always, and it happened. He scrambled one time, he slid, got a nasty hit right to the head. You can't do that, or else we're going to be running with Gardner Minshew. And
Minshew mania.
I know there's a lot of people out there that want Minshew mania.
Here we go.
But if you have a quarterback who runs 17 times, you're going to find out what Minshew mania is all about. You may not like that either. So
He did win a game last year.
He did win a game last year, but I think that Hurts needs to get more comfortable passing the ball. And I think that teams know how to beat him. They know how to beat us. The Lions had a league-high 50% blitz rate against the Eagles because they knew that they could leave A.J. Brown in single coverage, Devontae Smith in single coverage, Dallas Goedert in single coverage, all these guys in single coverage, and send extra blitzers because they knew Hurts would not be able to, for the most part, pick up those single coverages and deliver timely strikes to them.
Well, so this is where I think you need to have a little bit of a tug on your rope there because A.J. Brown still had a fantastic day.
Okay.
So I think you may have defenses that roll the dice and take that gamble, but the Eagles can still hurt you between Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. It's going to be a big gamble if you're going to go that route, or at least your corners better be up to the task of shutting both Smith and Brown down. Because if you don't, they're going to make you pay.
If the Lions were a marginally better team, we lose that game with that strategy.
If in that second half, yeah.
I
think the Eagles got complacent. This tends to happen with the Eagles, I feel like. They get out to a fast start. This happened a couple times last year, too. I don't know if it's Nick Sirianni. I don't know if it's the coaching. But it's like they kind of just get like...
They get comfortable.
They get lackadaisical. They get comfortable. They run kind of the same thing. And they're just kind of like, it's all right. We still have the lead. Well, I think you need more, a kick in the butt. We got to start, we got to keep this game going. And I think that comes down to coaching. I think Nick Sirianni, I know he's big on the whole simile and metaphors and the flower and all that junk. Well, sometimes when, the rubber meets the road, you need to smack some guys on the helmet and you say, wake the F up. We need to, we got to keep the pedal to the metal, keep the pressure going. And also got to make those defensive changes. You got to make those shifts. Because I feel like sometimes they also just run out in the second half and they still have the same game plan.
Yeah,
it's two different halves.
I think I blame Sirianni less than I blame the defensive coordinator, Gannon.
Yeah, Gannon he's going to get his feet to the fire.
Look, you have
got to change the schemes up a little bit.
We had no answer whatsoever to their ground game.
DeAndre Smith had a huge game.
He killed us on the ground, through the air. I mean, we made this kid look like an all-pro. And we're supposed to have one of the best defensive lines, a hugely revamped linebacking core.
We don't know about that.
Well, we also just traded for a safety. We made a big splash in free agency signing James Bradbury. And they really, laid a dud, I think, on defense. They were not getting the type of pressure we thought they would get. They had no answer to the ground game. This was just sloppy football all around for the Eagles.
And I think that
very concerning to me.
That defensive line is going to get weaker, as we also learned this week that Derek Barnett is going to be out for the rest of the season, ACL tear.
Yeah. So it's one less person in the rotation.
Yep.
That's a big part of the Eagles' defensive line game is they constantly rotate people in and out to keep them fresh. As we're getting younger on the line, we're also, two of our anchors are still very old in Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham.
Yep.
We're really relying heavily on those two guys, and, Eagles legends. Don't want to see them go, don't want to see them past their prime. But guess what? They are. And at a certain point, you have to acknowledge, and the stats back it up here. I saw this interesting one. With Fletcher Cox on the field, they were allowing 10 yards per carry.
Ooh, that's bad.
With the rookie Jordan Davis in the lineup, 2.9 yards per carry. Now, some of that may be skewed by the big runs, but we looked last year at how Fletcher Cox wasn't as consistent with drawing double teams as he was in years past. How he wasn't beating single team blocking and absorbing those double teams. At a certain point, you have to acknowledge the fact that some of your aging veterans have aged out.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that seems to be a Philadelphia trademark that we keep players 1 or 2 seasons too long.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not the case, but it wouldn't be surprising if this is so. Any other notes about the Eagles game? I mean,
I'm excited that they won.
It's one of those things. Yeah, like a win is a win. I'll take the win.
Right. At the end of the day, it's in the W column. But anybody that watched that game can't, I think, reasonably sit there and say that we had a good performance.
Not in that second half. Yeah.
So, I would argue even in the first half they were a little shaky. I had 0 points scored in the first quarter. Yes, 24 in the second. But if you take that second quarter out of the equation, 3 out of the 4 quarters they were basically kind of just there.
Yeah.
They showed up for one quarter.
Yeah, so we don't know which Eagles team is going to show up in the next couple weeks.
Is it going to be the 24 points they scored in the second, or is it going to be the 14 they scored over the other 3 quarters?
Yeah, a little worrisome there, especially if they're going to contend with trying to win the NFC East. So
yeah,
I don't
know. Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, it's just.
Not the way we wanted week 1 to go.
Yeah, it's very much a indifferent win. Yeah.
Like, we beat up on the Lions. They are who we thought they were.
But we didn't let them off the hook.
So we didn't let them off the hook.
So that was good.
Just barely.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about instead of in the past, let's look towards the future. Can we do that?
Let's do that.
All right. Well, then let's go with the tradition that we like to do, where we will present to you 4 games in the upcoming week that we think you should keep an eye out for, and we're going to give you our picks on them. It's our fantastic 4 picks for week number 2. So there you go. We got the new deep synthwave music active.
I like the new synthwave music.
Yes.
It's fun.
What do we got?
All right. First up, we have an AFC West showdown. It's the LA Chargers traveling to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. This should be an exciting shootout. Rich, it is a Thursday night primetime game. If you're listening to this on Wednesday or Thursday, make sure you go check the game out right now. Rich, what do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be a great Thursday night football game. Chiefs, they look like they haven't missed a step. Patrick Mahomes threw 5 TDs in the season opener. It might be a little bit different than what you're used to out of the Chiefs, but they're still rocking and rolling without Tyreek Hill. That was a huge statement that they made. Chargers had a good win against the Raiders, another division matchup that they had to start off the season with. But at this rate, I think you got to give the edge to the Chiefs. They're going to be at home. Their offense looked dominant. I also heard Chargers, Keenan Allen might be out because of he got a little bit banged up on Sunday, and this is going to be a short week for that game. That could be the difference right there, that the Chargers are going to be down one of their key wide receivers. I'm going to go Chiefs.
I almost want to pick the upset here with the Chargers, but I just know that the Chiefs are going to want to come out in a big way with the home opener and really show that they're still one of the top dogs in the AFC. Maybe later in the season the Chargers can steal one, but I think early on here, The Chiefs are just going to continue what they've been doing the past couple of seasons. They're going to take this one. They're a little bit better on paper. So early in the season, you got to go with the sure thing in the Chiefs at home. Really tough to beat them there anyway. So
Yep.
Next up, we have an AFC South rivalry and a coaching rivalry as well, as Frank Reich and the Indianapolis Colts travel into Jacksonville to face off against Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars. These two Super Bowl coaches going up against each other. Who's the better coach in this matchup of kind of mediocre teams?
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I love Jacksonville in this matchup. I do not want to hear a single heap of praise on the Indianapolis Colts until they go out and handfully win a game, all right? The last couple of games that the Colts have had, both last year and the one last week, they've just disappointed in so many ways. I cannot trust this Colts team until they put together a solid win, as far as I'm concerned. On the other hand, Jacksonville had a pretty solid debut against Washington, almost beat Carson Wentz and the Commanders. Actually, they were, if their running back, Etienne, I forget the guy, how you say his last name, the running back that was hurt last year, if he had caught a fourth down pass, they probably would have iced that game for themselves. They probably would have started out 1-0 this season. But I am going with Jacksonville here. I think they're playing at least decently. I think Doug Peterson knows what he's doing with this young team. I can't trust the Colts. I refuse to trust the Colts until I see a solid victory from them again.
I want to agree with you so bad, but I can't.
It's fine.
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, yes, you can't trust the Colts, but you can trust the Jags?
Dougie P, fresh face. I like it. I like him at home. I see this, and if you get any more than 3 points on this on the point spread, take it. I like it. I like this matchup here for Jacksonville.
You know, I like your argument, but ultimately it's Matt Ryan. It's the Colts. Yes, they got embarrassed.
Who just tied
I know.
against the Texans.
I know, and that's very
They
frustrating.
tied. You should be against this.
I am. I hate the fact that they tied. But here's the thing. Hopefully they hate the tie as much as I do, and they're going to use that energy to go into Jacksonville and smack down their next division rival. Because if they don't, then this season is already almost over for the Colts. This is basically I hate to say must-win game in week 2, but if you go with a tie against a rival and then a loss against a rival,
I don't know. Maybe Matt Ryan's not the answer either.
maybe not, but
Six straight seasons, different quarterback. They can't find one.
maybe Matty Ice is the answer here. The Colts have to win this game, so I'm going with the Colts. And I think Frank Reich, I think that he was a big part of Doug Peterson's success there in Philly. I think that he's going to understand how to pick apart that offense on the other side and kind of predict what Doug Peterson's going to go with.
All right.
So I'm going with the Colts.
Well, if they do, then they earn my trust again. But for right now, I can't trust the Colts.
All right, what about this next matchup? Do either of these teams have your trust? It's an AFC primetime game. The Tennessee Titans are traveling to Buffalo to face off against the Bills. This is a Monday night game, 7:15 p.m., part of a doubleheader on Monday night. Rich, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I think you have to go with Buffalo here. I mean, Tennessee, I feel like their window has been shut this year. I feel like that team got too bloated. They're relying too much on Derrick Henry. The rest of the offense isn't really keeping up. They're hurting from losing A.J. Brown in that trade.
Yep.
I mean, look, they lost that game to the Giants. I don't know. This is dire times for the Titans. Maybe they rally and strike a blow, but until I see some sort of evidence to restore my faith in this team, I'm going with Bills. There's another team I can't trust right now. I'm going with Bills.
And you can trust the Bills because they are, I think, still my personal favorite to appear in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is, if it wasn't for Mahomes, he'd be the best quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
Like, easily. I mean,
Yep.
I'm looking at the stat line. Completed 84% of his passes. The connection with Stephon Diggs is just incredible. I don't think Tennessee stands a chance, honestly. I think it's the Bills all the way.
Yep.
And finally, we have a hometown team. The Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Minnesota Vikings Monday night, 8:30. It's a primetime game. Rich, why are the Eagles going to beat Kirk Cousins? Because he sucks. Don't you dare. You can end the segment right now. You son of a... Go ahead, say it.
I like the Vikings in this matchup. A guy like Justin Jefferson is built to dismantle the Eagles' defense. And they came across smacking down the Packers in their opener. I know Kirk Cousins is usually not good at primetime games, but I feel like this Vikings team is built differently. They've got a new head coach. He's letting Kirk Cousins run the offense the way he wants to do it. Jefferson had just that fantastic game. And even if they double cover Jefferson, Adam Thielen is a huge number two wide receiver. I don't know. There's too many weapons here to cover. This seems like a traditional game where the Eagles cornerbacks and safeties are going to blow it, and either Justin Jefferson or Adam Thielen is going to run wild on this field. I hate to say it, but I think in this home opener, and there's going to be a lot of home games this upcoming season where I think the Eagles are going to disappoint. I looked ahead on a couple of games. They got a lot of tough games at home at the Link. I think this is the first one. I don't think Eagles pull this one out in Philly. I think people are going to go home unhappy in South Philly. I think Vikings take this one, sadly.
I won't hear it. I won't accept it. Justin Jefferson is going to kill us.
He's built to conquer a defense like ours.
If they take away A.J. Brown as well, we have nothing on offense. I mean, you look at the Eagles' leading receivers, it's A.J. Brown, and then Dallas Goedert is like barely existing right there on the stat sheet. Oh, it pisses me off so much, but you're probably right. The Vikings are probably going to win.
But what's your official pick?
I'm still going Eagles because I can't say anything. Like, I am 99% sure the Vikings are going to win, but I'm not going to pick them. I am going to hope against hope that the Eagles come out a completely different team. Jalen Hurts throws for 300. He connects with A.J. Brown for 2 touchdowns. Whatever fantasy miracle that you have to envision is going to happen in order for us to beat the Vikings. That's what I want.
So your official pick is going to be Eagles.
I can't pick the Vikings.
All
I
right.
hate them so much.
Yeah,
I will gladly pick the wrong team in order to avoid picking the Vikings.
All right. Well, maybe that might cross out my distrust of the Colts in that matchup. But there you go, folks. Our fantastic 4 picks for week number 2 of the NFL season. We're in agreement on the Chiefs. We're in agreement on the Bills. But for the Colts and Jaguars, I'm going Jags. Mike's going Colts. And then for our hometown team, I'm going with the Vikings. We're going with the Invaders. Not exactly my proudest moment.
Going with the Eagles out of spite.
And the Eagles, Mike's going with the Eagles. He can't stand Kirk Cousins.
I'm hoping that spite will fuel them to a win. Okay.
Yep. I mean, it could happen.
If I hate hard enough, it might work.
You sound like the Emperor.
I sound like a Sith Lord, right?
Give in to your anger.
We can only hope. We can only hope, Rich.
Only your hatred can destroy Kirk Cousins.
That's all we have. We don't have a passing attack. We have to rely on the hate.
All right.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
There you go. Mike is a Sith in training coming
That's
up.
right.
Well, we'll find out whose picks are correct next week. Actually, by the way, last week we went undefeated.
We did?
Yeah. We
Oh,
went
wow.
4-0.
Oh, wow.
How do you like that?
That's pretty good. That's
But-
not going to happen this
But
week.
it can't happen now because we finally had
I know.
divergent picks
Oh,
here.
man.
So now we officially break the ranks.
This is where my wheels fall off.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm starting to feel a little naked going with the Jaguars, but I can't stand the Colts right now.
Hey,
They gotta earn my trust again.
you got to go with your gut, and sometimes you got to pick a team out of spite.
Yeah.
You pick the Jags out of spite, I pick the Eagles out of spite.
Yeah. Although it all has an Eagles bent to it because it's Frank Reich and Doug Peterson.
That's
So-
true.
Anyway, let's change the subject with the 3-minute drill. A couple topics in 3 minutes or less. Here we go. 3 minutes on the clock. We got to talk about our hated rivals
Yeah.
who have suffered a huge loss.
Yeah, speaking of hate, we hate the Dallas Cowboys. Their playoff hopes may already be dashed after quarterback Dak Prescott went down with a hand injury that required surgery.
I want me some glory hole.
Well, you might not get it, Mr.
I
Jones.
want me some glory hole.
No glory hole for Jones.
I want me some glory hole.
Probably not, because reports say that Dak Prescott will be out 6 to 8 weeks. Jerry Jones himself says, though, that Prescott could return in 4 if all goes well, because he's a doctor now.
Dr. Jerry
in addition
Jones.
to everything else, GM and coach and player and everything.
What the hell? Dr. Jerry Jones in the house.
Personally, I'm hoping he's out for 8 weeks. I never wish an injury upon anybody, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth when it comes to Dallas suffering setbacks. You know, I feel bad that Dak had the injury, that he won't get to play, but ultimately it helps us. So I'm not going to cry about it.
Well, my thing actually is a different element on this. Dak Prescott got hurt in the fourth quarter of that game. Those first 3 quarters, the Cowboys were just blah.
They may do
anything.
better without him. They may rally around the fact that their quarterback is injured.
Dallas is the only team in week 1 to not have scored a touchdown.
They suck.
What the hell?
We all knew they would suck.
So much for America's team. They didn't do anything. They're that meme with the stick, like, hey, do something.
Yeah, come on. When are you going to do something?
Yeah, because they did nothing in that game except getting hurt. So Dak Prescott, huge injury. We'll see if the Cowboys go and get some free agent help, because right now it's either that or Cooper Rush is their backup quarterback.
Sounds like a Madden creative character, Cooper Rush. What is that?
Good luck. Good luck with that.
Anyway, well, a lot of teams needed luck this last week because it turns out that 7 games this past week were decided by 3 or fewer points. That's the most for week 1 in NFL history. A lot of close games. Could that shortened preseason be to blame to sort of a slow, sloppy start for a lot of teams?
Possibly. I mean, yeah, and a lot of teams did not play any of their starters for the 3 games of the preseason.
A lot of quarterbacks took off. A lot of teams rested their starters. We had 1 less preseason game, and all of a sudden everybody's shocked that teams are losing by just missed field goals. Now people are saying they should get rid of kickers completely. That was a wild take that I saw.
Okay.
I saw a wild take there, like kicking shouldn't be part of the game. Don't be upset because your team sucks.
Yeah.
All right, just be better.
Yeah. Try next week.
2 teams that need to be better, 2 of these games that were decided by 3 points or less, had quarterbacks who lost to their former teams. Russell Wilson and the Broncos were upset by the Seahawks. Baker Mayfield and the Panthers lost to the Browns.
There you go.
Yeah, both of those heartbreaking losses. The quarterbacks losing to their former team. But there's something else about this that kind of annoys you, Rich, if I understand correctly. You're kind of ticked off about one of these matchups.
Yeah, a little bit here. So let's just.
Do you have time to be pissed off?
Yeah, why not? We got time. I think so.
It's just like the Hulk. He's always angry.
Yeah, so let's get pissed off here.
It's Alabama left and Alabama right. Come on, let me get your right step right. Get off stage, goddamn goofy, piss me off and jerk. Get on my nerves.
Yeah, this is just a basic kind of list that I've started to come up with after week 1. They're on my S list. There are just certain teams after this week 1 I do not want to see ever again until they put together a decent effort. I mentioned one of them being the Colts because I can't trust them after that ridiculous tie. You mentioned Russell Wilson and the Broncos. What a crap showing and ending that was, that they couldn't figure out how to get 5 yards with Russell Wilson, the guy that they're paying $240 million for, and traded all these first-round draft picks. Didn't trust him.
So let's break that down for people, because the Broncos lost on a missed field goal.
Yeah, 62-yarder.
They went for 60
just
plus
casually.
60-plus yard field goal.
Gonna try a 62-yarder. No big deal.
They had 4th and 5.
Yes, with 50 seconds.
With 50 seconds left, you have
and 2 timeouts, I think.
Yeah, timeouts. One of the best quarterbacks, paying him $240 million. They go for one of the longest field goals ever.
Well, not only that, they let the clock wind down. It was like they were on. I don't know. I think the coach thought they were at like the 20 or something instead of midfield.
That's insane.
Yeah, he lets the clock wind all the way down and then sends out the kicking unit for a 60-some yard field goal. Like, that, just utterly stupidity on Nathaniel Hackett's part. Just a horrible way to end that game. So the Broncos, I don't want to see until they put together a solid effort
So
either.
Colts, Broncos, you're never watching them again. All the horse teams.
I can't trust them right now. They're just
It's 2 horse teams.
Well, the third one isn't. The third one is the Green Bay Packers because Aaron Rodgers put up a dud in that game against the Vikings. The Vikings made the Packers look like they were a minor league team or something.
Pathetic.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
the stat that you shared in the Devontae Adams with his new team with the Raiders had more receiving yards than all of the Packers receivers combined.
Yes, absolutely embarrassing.
Insanity.
Yes. And just also, it's not even just Aaron Rodgers. It was their defense that just let Justin Jefferson off the hook. There was literally a play for, I think it was 45-yard completion where Justin Jefferson is alone on an island. Like, just like, hello?
You can't leave him alone.
Hello? Unfortunately, I have a feeling that's going to happen on Monday with the Eagles. I don't know.
Probably. We let the Lions almost light us up.
Yeah. So
Why not another NFC North team?
Yeah. So the Packers, until they put together a solid effort with Aaron Rodgers, I can't trust them either. It's just been like I couldn't believe some of these like established quarterbacks or established teams were just putting up these ridiculous duds of performances in week 1. And maybe it does go back to the point in the 3-minute drill that maybe there's been a shortened preseason. There's this notion you don't put any of the starters in the preseason. And now like these week 1, week 2 games are kind of their unofficial preseason. But at the same time, it's just there's still no excuse. It's just horrible football.
I mean, we've been watching football for a long time now. And week 1, week 2, things are, sometimes a little slow. Sometimes you have guys coming back from injury. Sometimes, you have players who hold out or get traded at the last second and they're not used to the system or they don't have enough time to practice. This seemed like a really sloppy week of football.
Yep.
I'm going just based strictly, even just looking at the Eagles as a sample size. That game was so sloppy and really irritating at times.
Yep.
Slow and, missing assignments and just players all over the place. How many times were we flagged for like 12 people on the field?
Yeah, that happened a couple
times.
times.
Boneheaded stuff that's like basic, like guys.
Count. Can you guys count?
Like there's some basic rules of football that you need to know. 11 guys on the field. 4 downs, 10 yards per. It's like the very fundamental building blocks of the game, and they just like throw it out the window. And then you got over here, you got coaches making dumb decisions with field goals. You got Aaron Rodgers basically retiring mid-game. He just decided to, he had 120 passing yards. This is like the quote unquote one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
He's getting paid $50 million a year.
And I know he's, in the back of his head, he's like, my wide receivers let me down. Maybe you let them down because you signed a massive contract that prevented the Packers from keeping that talent. And I want people to remember that while they were in negotiations with Rodgers, they were trading and cutting players. Why?
Yeah. Trade away Devontae Adams.
Why?
Yep.
To make cap room.
Yep. You got to keep them.
It's not like Devontae Adams and all these other players were like, I want out of Green Bay right now. No, they got rid of them to make room. So, yes, it is because of Rodgers' contract that he doesn't have people to throw to. Remember that, Rodgers.
Yep. Well, guess what? If that's the way the Packers are going to play the rest of the season, they're going to go 6-11 and not make the playoffs. Their window is if that's their team coming out in 2022, their window's done. Their window's over.
Rodgers got his last big paycheck and he's going to ride off into the sunset.
Well, if that's the way they're going to handle this season, it was atrocious.
It's bad.
So I don't know. There's just certain teams that have pissed me off for the last time, and I am not going to trust them unless they actually turn things around and show me a decent effort. And I will not recommend them in the Fantastic Four picks, which is why I'm going Jaguars.
You're really not confident with that pick anymore, are you? It's okay. I'm not confident with my Eagles pick either.
I'm going with Jaguars. And if you get more than 3 points, bet on it. I'm going with it.
Okay.
That's my sports book opinion of the day, of the week, however we do the show.
New segment that he just came up with. My
Yes.
sports bet opinion thing of the week.
Yes, of the day of the week.
And that's the title. We're never allowed to change it. That's always the title for that segment.
Yes, of the day of the week.
Of the day of the week.
There you go. That's how we're gonna finish the sports sampler. Where we're trying to make up horrible names for new segments. We gotta take a break, but don't go anywhere because we still got the entertainment entree. We're gonna talk about the Emmys for a little bit, and then the non-fortune cookie odd news coming your way after the break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're gonna get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes,
I love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and-
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Oh, man, I tell you what, at the very least, it feels good to football.
It feels good to football.
the NFL's weird new slogan. But
So dumb.
it's dumb, but I kind of felt it this first week of action. Definitely happy to be footballing.
I just like the fact that the Eagles are back. You're right. It felt good to watch like a regular game, like a real season game,
Yeah.
where there's stakes and hopes and dreams and fears and all of the above.
Yeah, and people making $50 million.
What can you do?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move away from sports and instead let's get to the segment about movies, TV, video games, stuff like that. It is time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, there you go. And with that, we're going to start it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should specifically keep an eye out for with new movies, new music, new TV, new video games, anything that we think that you should be aware of this upcoming weekend with the segment Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, this week in entertainment, in movies, God's Country is a new drama hitting theaters this week. The synopsis reads, quote, when a college professor in the remote mountains of the American West confronts two hunters she catches trespassing on her property, she's drawn into an escalating battle of wills with catastrophic consequences. It looks like it could be a compelling early fall drama. It has some decent reviews already, currently sitting at an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes with an average score of about 7.5 out of 10. Looks like it could be a pretty good time. Go check it out. That's in theaters this week. On television, on Hulu specifically, there's a show that's made just for me. Best in Dough is a new reality competition show all about making pizza. Rich, it looks amazing, okay?
Oh, here we go.
They're making pizza, all different kinds of pizza. It looks like the contestants will be making traditional style pizza pies. They're going to be making weird pizza in different shapes, different ingredients, and pizza mashups with different foods as well. Also, fun note, two of the contestants are going to be two little old Italian nonnas, which is going to be really funny because they...
Just give them the award.
Just give them the award. The one clip from the trailer, the guy announces you're going to be making pizza cupcakes. And the one nonna's like, oh, I don't do that. That's not, she's like throwing a little Italian fit. And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Exactly, nonna.
Exactly.
You tell them.
We support you.
Yeah. Hey. So I'm going to watch it just for that, just for the nonnas. And
Very good.
And see what happens.
Very
So
good.
go check that out. That's Best in Dough on Hulu. And finally, in video games, Bear and Breakfast comes to Switch this week. It's already out on PC, but it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. This is what some are calling a quote-unquote cozy game, meaning it's a laid-back game. It features relaxing gameplay with minimal stress. It has an endearing art style or story or themes. You fits this concept perfectly because you take the role of a bear who must run a quaint woodland bed and breakfast. You get to build your own inn, you get to forage for materials, you get to learn about your guests, and uncover mysteries in the woods and the forest surrounding the inn. It looks really, really, I can't think of any, I know now why they call it. It looks very cozy. Just sit back with a cup of warm, hot cocoa, tea, coffee, whatever, and you make your little bed and breakfast. So that's Bear and Breakfast coming to Switch. Yeah.
There you go.
There's a lot of people that are into the cozy gaming genre. Every once in a while, I like a cozy game.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Mike is going to be cozied up.
Going to be cozied up. That's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right.
Oh, look,
there
if you
go.
can lull yourself to sleep with golf, why can't I lull myself to sleep with Bear and Breakfast?
Well, I guess here's the difference. I thought you were playing a video game, so like you're gonna actually like fall asleep while you're playing the game. Like
sometimes I do.
Okay. Well, there you go. That is what Mike is looking forward to this upcoming week. All right. So real quick, we're gonna do a broad, just kind of recap of the Emmy Awards. They happened Monday night. I gotta just say off the bat, Succession, pretty much big winner, one of the big winners of the night. I want to give, though, special attention to Matthew McFadden. He deserves it this year. This was the season of Tom Wambsgams. Between some of the things that happen on the show, I'm trying to keep within spoilers in case people haven't seen it. But he definitely goes through the ringer between various opportunities at possibly trying to help his wife, help other people on the show improve their positions in terms of the power rankings of who's going to eventually take over the company. And he went the whole range between looking like he was going to be down and out, between looking like he could be a favorite or a dark horse candidate, between all the shenanigans that happen. I'm very happy that he won Best Supporting Actor. He definitely deserved it, especially this year. It seemed like there was more focus placed on the character Tom Wambsgans. So Matthew McFadden definitely worthy of winning that award. But all in all, I'm happy to see Succession get their rightful due, because I still think, pound for pound, it is the best show on TV right now. I will easily go back and rewatch every season. I'm still doing it. I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, Succession absolutely worthy of winning its awards. Like you said, one of the best shows. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. On the other side of things, that was stealing the show for dramas. On the other side of things with comedy, Ted Lasso cleans up again. Best comedy series, best actor, best supporting actress. Winning 4 big awards. Again, continues to impress on Apple TV+. Nobody gives the service a shot because there's a very small audience, but I'm telling you guys out there, if you can find a way to check out Ted Lasso or any of these other Apple TV Plus shows, they are absolutely fantastic. Ted Lasso is the type of comedy that perfectly combines the irreverent humor with the just feel good, just like overwhelmingly like this heartwarming, like feel good characters that you just want to root for. You just want the best for them all. And it's just so funny. What?
I just realized, I think like this might be the inverse of Succession.
Yes.
Because Succession is the complete opposite. Everybody is an asshole on Succession.
Well, that's why one's a drama and one's a comedy. If you had these same characters and flipped them, you would have a really bad comedy and a really weird drama.
Yeah. So this is interesting. This is like weird extremes.
Yeah. No, it's true. Succession, if you like the characters, there's something wrong with you. In Ted Lasso, if you hate the characters, there's something wrong with you. It's those types of shows.
Well, I mean, you can still like some of the characters.
You can like, but
objectively, they're all
they're
bad
supposed
people.
to be bad guys.
Yeah, they are all bad people.
They're supposed to be bad people.
But you can still like a couple of them.
No, you can still like them as characters, but you're not rooting for them. You're not like,
there's a couple I am.
Oh, Rich, you're weird.
There's a couple I am.
But no, definitely go check out Ted Lasso. It is one of the best shows recently on television in terms of comedy. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It just, again, has just this overwhelming positivity where you just want to root for these characters, but every once in a while they hit you with the nice little dramatic storyline as well, because you still need a little bit of character drama and tension in there, and the second season keeps it going. So those are the 2 big winners in terms of the 2 big, comedy and drama series. I also want to give a few specific shout outs once again. Last week tonight with John Oliver cleaning up again.
I love that show.
He's just the best at what he does.
Yes.
I think he's probably the best that ever will work in that.
Well, I gotta
in
admit,
that style of show.
I gotta admit, it is amazing how much freedom he has with that show.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he actually went after like his own company.
Yes.
Because HBO's in the middle of this weird merger with Discovery and everything like that. And he took them to town. He took Discovery to town. That's literally going to be his new boss. And he was like calling them out on some crap. So he's got so much freedom. It's just amazing to see that he's not wasting any of it.
Yeah. I admire him for that. I admire him for the fact that, whereas other late night talking head news shows, they go, only so far with their words, but he actually takes action sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's like actually creating the John Oliver, the one that pops in mind, Chlamydia Award for koalas.
Which is real.
Which is real. He bought Russell Crowe's jockstrap. Like he challenges, entire cities to prove that they're like, You know, that weird beef he had with, what was the town in Connecticut? I can't remember. Danbury or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, he takes it a step further. You know, he goes beyond the show. He evolves the medium to the real world. And that is just so impressive to me. And also...
He also got a sewage treatment plant named
after him. Yeah, I mean, like, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous stuff. It's just incredible. And the other thing I really appreciate about it, which I always tell people, if you want to know how to frame an argument, watch John Oliver. He is the video version of a perfect 5-paragraph essay. He lays out his thesis, his main talking point perfectly. He backs it up with like 2 or 3 crucial pieces of evidence, all while making it humorous, relevant, and engaging. And he doesn't lack for things like statistics and citing sources. Like, it's just the whole package. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
The best who's ever done it.
Right. So, I mean, like, you know, some people might be saying, oh, my gosh, how many Emmys can he win? Well, you know what? It's deserving.
All of them.
It's deserving.
Unless somebody comes up and proves that they're better than him, why not all of them?
Yeah. He definitely deserves it. So, I agree. I'm definitely glad to see him continuing to win those Emmy Awards as well.
And one final shout out to a show specifically near and dear to this area here, Abbott Elementary, winning a couple of awards, 3 awards. That's including major ones and Creative Emmys awards. Abbott Elementary, if you haven't checked it out, comedy on ABC about an inner city school in Philadelphia with teachers who go above and beyond. It's basically The Office set in an underprivileged elementary school. It is absolutely fantastic. I love the references to Philadelphia, to the Eagles, to the parking in South Philly, to the Italian slang. I mean, they do have it all. The creator is from Philadelphia. She's writing, producing, directing. She created the show. She won an Emmy for it. Quinta Brunson won for Outstanding Writing for Abbott Elementary for the pilot. One of the teachers won for Best, I think, Supporting Actress in a Comedy. Go check it out if you haven't. You got to support shows like that, especially since it has a predominantly minority cast, which, historic moment for black women in TV. Only 35 black women have won Emmys in 74 years, but you had like 3 or 4 of them win this past Emmys, you know, in one go.
I think I might be wrong on this, but I think I saw a graphic that said Zendaya is the first one to have 2 Emmys, something like that. I think
she just won for lead actress in drama for Euphoria.
Yeah.
I have to plead my ignorance with Euphoria. Apparently it's doing really, really well. I've never seen it. But Zendaya, yeah, and I love Zendaya because she's the perfect Mary Jane, I think, from Spider-Man MJ. So,
yeah, so it's been, I think, a very good night all around.
Yeah, fantastic. Lots of good shows.
The only thing that was disappointing was Better Call Saul not getting any DAP. But
you mentioned...
Apparently there is a loophole where because they split that last season into 2 different parts, that Better Call Saul 6B, I don't know, whatever it is, the last part of it is going to count for next year's Emmys.
I think they did that with Breaking Bad.
I think they did too. Yeah. There's something weird with the whole breaking the season up that like it counts or something.
I'm wondering if they do that intentionally. AMC, because they've done that in the past.
Right.
Before.
So if that's the case, Emmys, get your crap together and give Bob Odenkirk an Emmy. He deserves it.
I think now I've only watched a couple episodes of this past season of Better Call Saul, but my opinion from before the Emmys is the same now. They should have given the drama to Better Call Saul because Succession is confirmed to be coming back for another season, and Succession can go back to winning next year. But they should have given Better Call Saul something, right?
Well,
kind of like an Oscar, they're due. Right?
However it works, Better Call Saul should get an Emmy next year.
It absolutely should.
Give them some DAP.
Give them some DAP. What are you, like a 70? Who are you?
Don't you know me, Mike? I am.
I do know you, but you continuously surprise me. You're only getting older.
Yeah, well, what? There's only one direction I can go in, Mike.
Yeah, but it's growing exponentially. like every year in real life, you're like aging 2 years. What's happening? You're like,
it's like a very extreme version of Benjamin Button.
It's like weird. Yeah, it's like weird Benjamin Button.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm already at the gambling golf game show stage. I don't know what else you do after that point.
If you get a rocking chair and you're just gonna be sitting out on the porch drinking your iced tea, I don't know.
Iced tea's pretty good.
Iced tea is pretty good. Yeah.
Don't diss iced tea.
I love iced tea. No.
You give iced tea some dap.
I will give. Well, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna give it the dap.
Yes.
There,
good.
iced tea. Have the dap.
Good. Give it some dap. All right. And that will end the entertainment entree. You know, things are going off the rails. I think that's the cue for only one more thing here on the podcast, and that is that it is time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story, he keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because this story always takes us down wacky and wild paths. I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading, and why is it Florida?
It is not Florida. No, they're taking They're taking a little bit of a break.
Stop the presses. It's not Florida. So where are we going?
Yeah, actually, we're staying in Pennsylvania.
Uh-oh.
We're going to
how close to home?
A little bit of a drive, but not too far. Westmoreland County.
Okay.
I
don't know where that is.
I think that's kind of more in the central part of PA, the classic Pennsylvania region. According
I'm
to
gonna look it up.
Politics.
Let's
I think if I got this right.
It is near Pittsburgh.
Okay, so more west central.
Yeah, it is the county next to Allegheny, basically.
There you go. I mean, so a long drive, but certainly you could drive there.
It's a long drive.
It is Pennsylvania.
You could make it in a day. If you really want to go check out this odd news story location, you can make it there.
Well, apparently this location is very important, especially to those that are very interested in politics.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is the center.
I'm scared now.
Yes, apparently everyone that is a fan of the previous president needs to circle this spot on the map because a Pennsylvania man who wears a rainbow wig says that the Dairy Queen in Westmoreland County is the beginning of where God will anoint him and former President Trump to come back and take over the country.
She's not a Christian!
Right there.
Wait.
This Dairy Queen. Right here. This is the beginning.
The Dairy Queen in Westmoreland County. That's a big area. They only have one Dairy Queen?
I guess so. I don't have a specific address.
How are we going to find it then?
I know. Maybe there's only one Dairy Queen. You're all right. It sounds like there should be multiple Dairy Queens in this county.
He's just like, this Dairy Queen here.
Right here. This is the beginning. The prophecy begins right here.
There's like at least 5 or 6 Dairy Queens, so he's got to be more specific if I want...
Uh-oh. Yeah, you got to give us more information. We're trying to rally the troops.
If you want us there, you got to give us better directions.
Yes.
So, but wait, he's saying at the Dairy Queen.
Specifically this Dairy Queen.
God is going to anoint.
God, yes. This is it.
So
I would also imagine this is the judgment then, right? If God is actually coming down to earth and making his proclamation, isn't that the beginning of Judgment Day?
Is that how that works?
I thought so.
It says that in Revelations. And God will come down upon the Dairy Queen on 2nd Street in Westmoreland County, PA, and bestow upon us his champions, Odd Newsman and Donald Trump.
God doth love cream of ice.
And God said, have what are Dairy Queen's ice creams called? Flurry, Blizzards.
No, wait, no.
Blizzard.
Flurry's Wendy's.
And God said, have Blizzards.
Yeah, have a Blizzard.
For they are good.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't been Dairy Queen in a moment.
Well, apparently we all have to now, because this is it. This is where judgment begins.
If the rapture's happening,
isn't this the beginning of the rapture when God comes and makes his proclamation?
Look, I need to know because I need to get my ice cream before I get damned to hell.
Right. I want to have one last ice cream.
I need to have one last ice cream before I'm in a place where ice cream can exist.
Yeah, literally. All right, so let's get more information. The man who is sporting the rainbow wig and making this proclamation is 61-year-old Jan Stawovi.
Stawovi?
What a name, yeah, Stawovi.
Wow.
Jan Stawovi.
Stawovi.
Yeah. All right. So first off, the reason why police were actually worried about this dude was because on his way to the Dairy Queen, he drove very erratically. So, I mean, look, I guess he's nervous.
Stawovi was Staweevy.
She's not a Christian!
Yeah, very, very upset. You know, the end of the world is coming.
I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that somebody with the name of Stawovi who thinks God is going to anoint them.
Him and Trump.
Those
are the two guys. That's your 1-2 punch. Donald Trump and Jan Stawovi.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that sounds like the type of person who would be driving erratically.
Yes.
I don't anticipate that person to be following the rules of the road.
Yeah. Thank God we have the police report. The police report says that it's specifically the Dairy Queen on Greensburg Street.
Greensburg Street in Greensburg?
I guess it's Greensburg. I don't know.
I mean, there's a Greensburg.
Whichever one says Greensburg Street, that's the Dairy Queen. That's the one we all have to report to. He also, in addition to the rainbow wig, had a bright yellow vest. So I guess he decided to dress up to the nines. This is it. He's very colorful so that everyone can see that's the right location.
Ah, of course.
It's actually a tactic. There you go. Everyone, this is the right location. Come see my brightly weird rainbow-colored wig and yellow vest. It's this one.
I think I found it.
You found it?
I found the Dairy Queen.
There you go. We all have to report there. Okay.
So he's wearing the rainbow wig.
Yes.
He drove erratically to the Dairy Queen.
Yes. All under apparently his story is that the rapture's coming. This is it. This is the beginning right here. This Dairy Queen. God needs his Dairy Queen before he starts the rapture to proclaim Donald Trump and him as the rulers of America.
You can't start the rapture on an empty stomach.
Right. Very good. Okay, so police were very concerned as he drove erratically to there. They let him make his proclamation at the Dairy Queen.
Oh, well, I mean, First Amendment rights.
Yes, go ahead, have fun. I just want to know what,
they wanted to see what was going to happen.
I want to know what, the 18-year-old, clerk is, thinking, oh, my God, who is this guy?
They're just sitting there I don't get paid nearly enough for this.
I'm getting paid minimum wage here. Some doofus over here shouting about the end of the world.
They've probably seen it all by now.
Yeah. Cops decided to investigate his Jeep that he was driving, and that's when they noted that he had an unlicensed handgun in his possession.
Nice.
So this is where the cops needed to act accordingly. So they decided that they needed to arrest him, and that's when Starovi really went into the story. He said that, quote, God talked to him
Okay.
said that he was going to be the prophet of the 21st century. This guy specifically.
Makes sense.
And that upon arriving to the Dairy Queen, God would arrive and instill Trump as the new president of America.
I didn't realize that the president was divinely appointed.
Yeah, this is
that's so. Wait, why do we vote then?
Yeah, why?
If God just comes down and just like boom, president, boom, president.
I have my blizzard, and now I'm ready to announce the new president.
It's much more exciting than when all the Cardinals get together and do the little puff of smoke to elect a pope.
Yeah.
This is more exciting.
And now, before I make my proclamation of who should be president, don't forget to have your Dairy Queen blizzard. $4.99 at your local
Is this
Dairy
like a
Queen.
Christian and Dairy Queen crossover?
I know, right? I feel like
if I were Dairy Queen, I would jump on this from a marketing perspective.
Did Dairy Queen sign an agreement with God? Like, hey, make sure you represent us before you start the end of the world.
Dairy Queen is the exclusive sponsor of God.
Of the apocalypse.
Of the apocalypse.
Capitalism at its finest.
The Rapture, brought to you by Dairy Queen. Get your blizzard before eternal damnation.
That sounds like the most American thing I can think of.
God appears on screen. He's like, if you can't have the fluffy, pearly white clouds of heaven, have the fluffy vanilla soft serve ice cream in the blizzard at Dairy Queen.
Yes, before you go. Maybe have some chili fries
It's
before
so
you go.
good, I'd sacrifice my son again to get another. I don't know.
There you go. Okay, so Wall.
So God apparently runs. I mean, God appoints the president. He also has a marketing deal with Dairy Queen.
Yep.
And this person, this individual, this Skwovi or whatever the name
Skwovi,
is.
yes.
Skwovi. He's the conduit.
Yes. Also, he claimed that 2 of the Dairy Queen workers knew about his plan and that they would, quote, vouch that he was telling the truth.
Oh man, those workers were probably like, "Don't bring us into this."
Oh, these poor 16, 17-year-old high school workers, like, wow, come on.
They're like, "Guy, I'm just trying to mix M&Ms into ice cream over here."
Yeah, all right.
Like,
come on, man. I'm just trying to.
They're like, at least leave a tip.
Well, that's interesting that you mentioned that.
Oh, no.
Because he actually went over to the counter at this point and dropped $120 and said that was for them. So that's nice.
I mean,
cool.
That's pretty good.
But I mean, if the Rapture's happening, what's the value of money? Like,
yeah, why didn't he give him like 200, 300?
I guess that was just whatever was in his wallet. I don't know. Here you
Probably.
go. I gotta leave soon, so here, take this anyway. Bye. Yeah, I don't know.
God's coming. I don't need this anymore.
Yep. Police also found more guns in his car while he was letting. See, this is the smart thing to do. Let the freaky guy go about his weird belief structure or whatever. Blah 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 blah. All right, and then we're gonna actually search your car.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
So while he's going on about all this stuff, the police found loaded handguns, a 9mm and a .22 caliber, along with 62 rounds of ammunition that were not properly registered with Skwovi.
Not good.
Yep. So at that point, that's when they arrested him and told him that he is unfortunately going to be facing felony charges.
Yep.
Because that's not good. And then apparently with one last gasp, he also claimed that he was also an undercover Pennsylvania State Police officer.
Sure.
So, wow, just tack on another thing, too. Just, oh, by the way, I'm also a cop, too.
Isn't that also a crime?
You know what? At this rate, this guy claims that a Dairy Queen is going to be the start of the apocalypse. You know what? We'll let that one slide. That one's on the house.
That one's on the house.
You gave us such a good story. That one's going to be on the house.
That was such a great show. We'll let you slide on that one.
Yeah. So, there you go. What a night that this Dairy Queen had. Thinking that this was going to be the start of the apocalypse right there.
That's amazing. Those kids went home with such a story.
And $120 too.
Yeah, right?
Don't tell me the cops confiscated that. That $120 better go
Absolutely.
to those Dairy Queen staff employees.
Yeah, they had to sit there and listen to that nonsense.
If anybody tells us that those damn cops took that money, they deserve it. All right,
That's right.
They got roped into this by this weird guy.
Yeah. He's like, they'll vouch for me. And they're like, no, we won't.
Yeah, who are you?
Yeah.
I don't know you. Like, get the hell away from the window.
I really hope they let those kids keep that tip.
They better have. Don't tell me that's evidence or some BS.
Yeah, the cop's like, oh, that money's evidence. Why?
No, that $120 needs to go to those staff for putting up with this lunatic.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, what a story. There you go. The odd news story of the week. Just, yep, there you go. If the Rapture happens, it's going to happen at a Dairy Queen, apparently, according to
Dairy Queen on Greensburg Street.
Yep.
In Westmoreland County, PA.
Yep.
Very specific, but, God has a plan.
Right, God has a plan, and this is where it starts.
It apparently involves the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
That's where it starts.
Sure, why not?
Look, at least we have a little bit of a drive. I mean, it's not, we can get there by car.
We can, if we get enough notice of the Rapture, we can make it there.
Right. You give us, 6 hours notice? 8 hours notice?
You give us, I would say, give us like at least a day so we can pack and prepare.
Oh, yeah, we got to pack. Well, do we have to pack?
Do we need to pack for the Rapture?
No, if it's the Rapture, don't we just like float up?
I mean, I want to put on my Sunday best. I gotta look good for God. So I gotta like at least I gotta get get the suit out. Gotta press the.
What happens if you get ice cream on the suit?
Gotta pack a bib.
Yeah, you gotta pack a. Got some sort of towel. We need some sort of towel.
So now I gotta
and the Tide cleaner, like what do you call
right
it?
The Tide to go.
Yeah, just because I don't want if it got any stains. Yeah, you gotta get that out.
I don't want to be stained going to heaven.
Right.
Or hell.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
Right.
When the Rapture happens, where we're going.
Yeah, tomatoes. We'll get there. We'll figure it out.
We'll get there. We'll figure it out.
We'll get there. And there you go, folks. That's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news. Oh, man. There you go. You never knew that the Rapture would be so specific. When I don't know about you, but I always thought, like, growing up, it was like, oh, whenever it happens,
right?
Whatever you're at in life, wherever location. Nope, we got the answers right here.
Right here.
Thanks to Mr. Stowovi.
They send you the address. You plug it into Google Maps. You can find your way directly to the Rapture.
There's going to be a Facebook event.
You say you reply maybe attending.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to check the calendar.
Yeah, I got a birthday party. I don't know if I can make it. Yeah.
Prior commitments. You know.
Yeah, we'll see. I got a ghost concert I got to go to. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work.
That's your Rapture.
Yeah. But there you go. That's the non-fortune cookie odd news. That's the craziness of our show. If you made it this far, thank you guys for listening to the whole show and for supporting our little crazy show that consists of sports, entertainment, and odd news. The complete package, the complete meal for your mind in a podcast form that is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you check out our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But more importantly, make sure that you're subscribed to us, whether it's the YouTube channel, whether it's through Facebook Live or Facebook Watch, or if it's on Spotify. Those are the three ways that you can watch the video version of the show. And if it's on Spotify, you can literally take us on the go. It'll work on Android Auto. You can listen to us on the car. So there's multiple ways to consume the Crispy Noodle Podcast before you make it to Pittsburgh and that specific Dairy Queen for the Rapture.
Actually, you can fit in, at least 2 or 3 episodes of the Crispy. Actually, no, more than that, like 4 or 5 episodes of the Crispy Noodle. So, tons of listening on your way there to the Rapture. But once you're done listening, you can also find us individually on Twitter in case you want to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories before the Rapture. Let us know. We'll give you a sausage shout-out on the podcast. You can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Send us any news that you want us to talk about on future episodes of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But for right now, that will do it. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That will do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.